Off the coast of Japan's westernmost island, right where the East China Sea crashes into the Philippine Sea, a silent monolith has been keeping its secrets for millennia. And beneath those waves lies a structure of, well, impossible geometry, a silent challenge to everything we think we know about the ancient world.
And this is the Yonaguni Monument. You can see right away how the human form is just rendered insignificant against these enormous terraces of stone rising from the seabed. You know, when a local diver named Kihachiro Aratake first stumbled upon this back in 1986, he was faced with a profound question of origin. And now, decades later, that very same question remains, just suspended there in the deep.
So, this discovery really forces a fundamental question on all of us. Are we looking at the ghost of a city that was swallowed by the sea? Some kind of Atlantis of the East that could completely recalibrate the timeline of human civilization? Or is it all just a breathtaking illusion crafted by the patient, indifferent hand of nature?
The monument's journey from total obscurity into the global consciousness really began with that accidental find in '86. By 1991, it had captivated Japan. By '95, its image was being broadcast all over the world, and it sparked a debate that is still going strong today. And now, a very recent geological study from 2024 has introduced a new and really compelling line of inquiry into this whole enduring mystery.
Okay, so let's start with the most compelling and definitely the most controversial idea, that this is the work of a lost civilization. The evidence, proponents say, points toward an artificial origin, a structure that would have stood above the waves maybe 10,000 years ago, a time when human society was thought to be, well, in its infancy. The whole argument for human intervention really rests on this collection of architectural anomalies. I mean, you observe these towering terraces, huge flat platforms, and edges that are cut with near-perfect right angles. The steps look deliberate, not accidental. For anyone who believes in the man-made theory, this kind of precision is the absolute opposite of random natural erosion.
In fact, early research schematics translated these underwater forms into the language of architecture. Suddenly, features were being identified not as rock formations, but as constructions, an archgate, a retaining wall, a loop road. What you end up with is less of a geological map and more of a blueprint for what they started calling the Yonaguni's Marine Pyramid.
And the case gets even stronger when you compare it to the region's known history. The monument has this striking resemblance to ancient Okinawan castles, which are called gusuku. They share the same use of large, terraced stone walls. And they're found in the exact same Ryukyu Island chain, where they served as centers of political and religious life. So the question becomes, could Yonaguni be their 10,000-year-old ancestor?
Near the main structure, an artifact was discovered that seemed to offer definitive proof. It was a stone tablet, and it was quickly nicknamed the Rosetta Stone of Okinawa. You can see etched on its surface there are distinct symbols, including what really looks like a cross and a V shape. For a lot of people, this was it. This was the irrefutable sign of intelligent design.
The analysis really zeroed in on the nature of these inscriptions. According to that early research, the cross-shaped mark is clearly a man-made symbol. That sharply pointed corner is the key point. Now that tiny detail implies the one-way movement of a tool, right? A motion that just isn't consistent with natural abrasion. It suggests a tool, a purpose, and ultimately, a human hand.
And yet, for every single argument for human creation, there is a powerful counter-argument that's rooted in geology, an alternative explanation that presents the monument not as some lost city, but as an incredible natural wonder, where geology itself is the sole and magnificent architect.
The entire foundation of the geological explanation comes down to the rock it's made of, sandstone. This specific type of rock has a natural tendency to just fracture. It breaks along these linear parallel planes, and what this property means is that the formation of flat surfaces and sharp geometric angles isn't an anomaly at all. It's actually an expected outcome of natural processes.
Now you take that natural tendency of sandstone and you subject it to some immense environmental forces. This region is a hotbed of seismic activity. Tectonic pressures are constantly fracturing the seabed, and those fractures are then scoured by powerful ocean currents that strip away the soft material and leave the harder, more angular structures behind. That 2024 study, in fact, provided detailed documentation of these exact erosion processes happening right there at the monument site.
And here we have to consider a factor that isn't geological at all, but psychological. It's called pareidolia. You know it, it's that human tendency to see meaningful patterns in random things, like seeing faces in clouds, or, in this case, architecture in rock. Skeptics propose that what we're seeing at Yonaguni isn't ancient design, but really the projection of our own pattern-seeking minds. Are we seeing a staircase because it is a staircase, or because our brains are just hardwired to find order in chaos?
This argument gets a lot stronger when you compare it to the land right above the water. Researchers, like the late John Anthony West, observed that the exact same sandstone formations exist on the island itself. And as he noted, it was clear enough that it was basically the same geomorphology, just that the slope, exposed only to wind and rain, had taken on a very different and ragged appearance. The implication there is pretty profound. If you just change the method of erosion, the illusion of architecture completely vanishes.
So we have these two incredibly compelling narratives emerging from the depths. One speaks of human hands and a forgotten history. The other speaks of deep geological time and the immense power of natural forces. And we're left suspended right between these two possibilities, looking at this incredible underwater enigma.
Really, the whole conflict is about interpretation. On one side, you have the evidence of geometric shapes, the cultural parallels, the apparent tool marks. But on the other, you have the known behavior of sandstone, the power of tectonic forces, and the fallibility of our own perception. And, critically, the case for a civilization is haunted by a huge absence. There is a complete lack of any other artifacts. No pottery, no tools, no human remains. The two theories are just at an impasse.
But maybe the truth isn't a simple either-or choice. There is a third, really intriguing theory that offers a middle ground. It suggests that Yonaguni was a spectacular natural formation that was discovered and then modified by an ancient people. Maybe they carved some steps, enhanced the platforms, and transformed this awe-inspiring work of nature into a sacred site of their own.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought to ponder. Could the real story of the Yonaguni Monument not be a choice between nature and humanity, but a story of both? A testament not just to geology or to civilization, but to a mysterious, long-lost collaboration between the two.